My name is Carl,
My name's Oscar,
and this is Who Would Watch This?
where we review bad films and decide who would watch this.
Well, apart from us. Alright, Oscar, so today we were supposed to be reviewing Beverly Hills Chihuahua, number 99 on the IMDb's bottom 100, but instead we're not. What are we reviewing today?
Well, we thought we would jump into Money Plane, which is
I'm gonna get rid of this pretentious accent I'm doing at the moment. I was like, why am I doing a voice?
Oh no, I'm loving the voice. I think we should swap voices each time. No, we thought we would jump into Money Plane, which is a film that's just come out as of recording about 5 days ago.
Yes, the plot is a professional thief with $40 million in debt and his family's life on the line must commit one final heist. Rob a futuristic airborne casino filled with the world's most dangerous criminals.
Now, why we're reviewing this is because it has a 3.5 on IMDb at the moment.
Yeah, I found it on Twitter.
You found it on Twitter, is that how you
Yes,
found it?
I saw the poster on Twitter and I sent it to you immediately and I went, fuck Beverly Hills Chihuahua. I'm basically procrastinating because I don't want to watch Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I was pretty dreading it. I'm like, it's a bad dog film.
Oh, I hate them. I'm going to have to sit through it next week. Like, my week's shit now. But I went, I've only seen the poster. I don't know the plot. I can only assume from the title alone that this movie's absolutely great. It's only got 200 reviews.
It's barely got any coverage.
Yeah. Kelsey Grammer's in it.
Everyone loves Kelsey.
Frasier.
All the Frasier
wow,
friends.
More people watching it.
And The Edge from WWE.
One of my favourite wrestlers I learned about this week.
Second to Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena.
Did you know he was originally The Rock? Wowzers. Alright, so Oscar, did you have any history with this movie?
No, it's just come out. You sent me on Twitter. I was like, let's jump into it. The reviews...
Yeah, I'm glad that you were immediately like, yes.
Yes, I was very excited. That's pretty low. That plot alone, the summary alone was pretty intriguing. And this film has nothing. I couldn't find anyone else that's talked about it. The director I've seen has done like one interview. The main star, The Edge, has done one interview.
It's crazy how few... You've got Thomas Jane and Kelsey Grammer, who are like established actors in the industry, no matter where their fame lies in like the year 2020.
Yeah.
But the fact that none of them are acknowledging this movie is like insane. The only thing I could find on it was I think it was like a Variety report or a Hollywood Reporter report that was sold to another company, and then the producer was like, we're really excited to own this film now and put it out onto streaming or like online distribution because we think it's such a great ode to the old 80s action movies and so and so. And I went, oh, sweetie, no. No.
So we both watched the film.
Yes, we've both now seen the film.
Yep. How do you want to do this, Carl? Do you want to just jump straight into the plot?
Let's go straight into it.
All right.
Here's the assumption that we're going to play by for this podcast, right? We're well aware nobody's watched this movie but us. Yeah.
So we're going to try and be as detailed as possible.
We really want to immerse you in this. So in this opening scene, we need you to think. Let's say you're sitting there at home, you've got $20 in your wallet, all right? Now somebody tells you, make Ocean's 11, but with that $20 in your wallet. This is the opening scene. It starts with like Ocean's 11 rip-off music that's free and a weird George Clooney-like voiceover going, these are the three rules of the heist.
I've got them here, and you better believe they kind of come back. I'll be honest,
I was honestly shocked at the level. I was like, wow. And they came back in the script. I was shocked. The rules, they don't pay off, but they kind of pay off.
One pays off, but even that. Okay, the rules are a great team. First one. Cool.
You need to have it.
You need to have a great team. Second, a diversion. They don't have it for both plots.
They don't
have a diversion. But it's essential to the three rules of heisting.
The third rule's my favourite. Oscar, what's the third rule?
The third rule is always have a plan B. As good as plan A.
What's the point of having a... It's so here it... Hey, hi, my name's Carl and we're going to rob a casino. here's what we need.
Okay.
We need to assemble a good team, a diversion, and a plan
Do we
B.
need a diversion?
Alright, we don't need a diversion.
Don't need, but it's definitely a rule.
Well, here's the thing: here's the issue: is the diversion plan A or plan B? This is where I think the rules instantly fall apart, and I want you've made a whole condescending statement minutes into your film.
They wanted to have that cool 3 rules. Went, all right, 3 rules. What are they? Went, we don't have any. Went, oh, okay. Let's just we got a team, a great team, and let's.
And here's the team. We've got 5 amazing powerhouse performances in this movie. We've got Adam Copeland, which is the Edge.
The Edge, yes, he's the big, muscly guy. He's just the big.
He's the Clooney.
He's the Clooney.
We've got Katrina Norman.
She's a feisty woman. She can beat up anybody.
Yes, she can. We've got Patrick Lamont Jr.
Who's the. Well, you think he's not the nerd, but then he is the nerd.
At the beginning of the movie, he starts out as the nerd.
Yeah.
He's the computer guy, the hacker, but he has to become a part of the plan.
That's plan B.
Yeah.
But it is also plan A.
And then we've got Andrew Lawrence, the director and writer and producer himself, starring in the movie.
But he's also
as the other nerd.
He's the other nerd. There's 2 nerds on this team, and that's
rule
number 1.
Rule number 1, here's what you need. The muscle. The female muscle, the nerd, the other nerd, and then the surprise ending is a guy in a drone.
A guy in a drone. We can get into that.
We'll get into it.
No,
But we're painting the picture. We're getting told the 3 rules. All right, and they are robbing the shittest museum I have ever seen.
I think it's a motel.
It looks like a warehouse.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting to the warehouse budget for this movie.
Oh, it's all a warehouse.
It's all a warehouse. So they rob.
Hey, how much can I get for that $20? You can have a warehouse. Cool, my movie's set in the plane.
We've got the plane in the warehouse. We've got this.
It's an art gallery. It's a museum. It's the cheapest set I've maybe ever seen, and it's supposed to be holding a $40 million painting.
No one else is there. Is there security? Or there's security that's guarding it with AK-47s?
There is the security with AK-47s who are then the muscle, SWAT, and every other team member in the film as an extra, I'm pretty sure. They're just constantly the reoccurring people with guns.
Put you in a mask.
We can only afford 2 stuntmen. So they're just going to run in at every opportunity. I think, and so everything starts to go wrong for them. Turns out the painting's not there. I love the fact that the computer nerd, Patrick Lamont Jr. is sitting in his van outside, literally outside the museum. That's not sus. Going, oh no, what do you mean the painting's not there? And it's just a shot where there should be a painting, and then it cuts to this movie has huge bugs. When they bug a car,
or
they bug a table.
They couldn't get the they must not have the production budget to be able to just make tiny things. No. So they just got webcams.
Yeah, they've got hey, what should we use as a bug in this movie? I've got a brown M&M or a brick. As the director, writer, producer, and actor, I would like you to use the brick.
Are you sure? Yes.
Yes. Can you add a flashing light to it? I can only do red though. Perfect.
Perfect. That's all I wanted.
How long do you want the antenna to be? A meter.
So they go, man, this is. Did they have a plan B?
No, they didn't. So he doesn't even abide by his 3 rules. He's got a shit team. The plan doesn't have a diversion. And there's no plan B.
They just run. Guards with AK-47s miss them a bunch of times. They go, we didn't get the painting.
We can't aim.
Oh no. So then they've oh man, we're out of here.
A shootout begins to start, and I think it's maybe the worst sound design I've ever heard. This movie has... These are the punches.
You've done the Foley art. That's it.
And then these are the shots.
It went on YouTube. MP3 downloaded it and put it on.
I wouldn't be surprised if every scream in this was just the Wilhelm scream. This is... I can't believe how absolutely poor,
Oh, it's nuts. The big stunt. I guess the biggest stunt of the whole thing is the van driving away on that, kind of thin.
You don't think it's them falling out into darkness in the big parachuting stuff?
I mean, practical effect.
Look at them go. They were smart. They said, hey, see this door in this warehouse? Can we make the back of it dark? So then after this whole heist goes wrong, we're introduced to the movie's villain, played by the wickedly talented Kelsey Grammer.
Is he having fun, Carl?
Kelsey Grammer is having the most fun I've ever seen an actor have in my entire life. Kelsey's gone, I'm only going to wear a suit. I'm only going to give you 1 day of filming. I want to sit for most of it.
And I don't take notes.
Yeah, if I screw up a line, I'm not re-recording it. I'm a one-take wonder. I'm Frasier. He's constantly like, hey, Kelsey, go
These are my 5 rules. And I'm fucking Frasier. Alright, so...
I love it. No, here's what's actually happening during this movie. There's a whole other heist going on, and it's Kelsey Grammer getting his paycheck.
Just real quickly, we've tried to look at the budget. The only thing I can find is that it's less than...
We worked out the budget. It's that $20 in the wallet of the listener right now. That's the budget. What'd you work out, sorry?
So I went on an interview, and he was so vague about it. The director, actor... he was like, an interview was like, so how much does it cost? More than 100 million? He's like, no, less than 100 million. And the interview...
Could you imagine if the budget was 100 million? And this is all they did. He's like, I've never worked with a budget of this size before. I didn't know what to do. I spent it on warehouses.
I just bought warehouses.
We only needed one, but I bought a franchise.
So he's like, it's under 100 million. He's like, all right, is it under 50 million? He's like, maybe. So it's between 99 million and $20.
Yep, I think we've definitely discovered. I think this is probably... God, I hesitate to say like a $5 million film when I've seen such good $5 million movies. Like basically any Blumhouse film you pick out of anywhere is a $5 million film. Like I can only assume that like there's people that populate this movie and like extras are money and actors are money. Like there's more actors in this movie than I thought there were going to be.
Yeah, some of the scene is quite...
So I can only assume that's where a lot of the money goes. So I don't know if like... Because Blumhouse can keep a movie cheap by only having not too many actors in it and keeping it to one location.
And it's not a passion project for the director or actors involved.
Yeah.
Like, we'll flip the bill.
So But it looks so terrible. Like, so terrible.
I've written down it looks like a porn parody of Ocean's 11.
It is disgusting to look at.
Yeah.
It's so horny. One of the... This and Cats are the two horniest films I've ever seen. So, yeah. But we meet Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
The beginning of his scenes are keeping it a secret. It's all these little shots as he gets a cigar.
Oh, it's very
and it's like, oh, whose fingers are these? And whose pants are these? And whose beard is this? And whose eyebrow is this? And whose cheek is this? And whose nose and mustache and hair and eardrum? Oh, is it Kelsey Grammer? Why, yes, it is. And he explains... Oh, actually, sorry. He does an intimidation tactic because he's the person that actually wants the painting.
Oh, yeah. So, why... So Jack's escaped... Why has Kelsey Grammer got Jack?
So he was doing the heist for Jack.
No, I think he's bought Jack's debt off somebody.
Right, so yes, okay, yes, you're right.
So Jack was, I think, trying to steal this painting to pay off his debt to someone else we don't find out.
He's got a $40 million gambling debt.
Because he had one bad hit, I think. They don't really go into it.
No.
But he had one bad luck. I don't know.
Honestly, from the way that he plays poker in this movie, I'm not surprised. We'll get to it, but...
Alright, so anyway, Kelsey Grammer has got him. He's like, alright, I bought your debt, you owe me. I wanted that painting, but it's gone now. Now I've got this I've got this thing I need you to do. He's like, alright, what is it?
No. This is the intimidation tactic I want. He's got his like Kelsey Grammer has his mobster offsider.
Oh god, yep.
And he's like Kelsey Grammer's like, hey, you know I wanted that painting. why don't I blow your brains out and make my own? And the bodyguard puts a canvas behind his head. And Kelsey Grammer's like, but I won't do that. And they take the canvas away.
Sorry, you forgot the best line. He's like, Picasso, shit.
Yeah.
Rembrandt, he goes, a bunch of bitches. All those artists. And Jack, the main character, is just so calm for it. He's like, you might shoot me, but it's fine. I've only got a kid and a wife.
I definitely think it's Kelsey Grammer not remembering his lines. He's like, okay, I know 3 painters, and I don't know how to insult them, so they're a bunch of bitches. So it turns out he's in debt.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get his painting. And then at 7 minutes and 28 seconds in, Kelsey Grammer explains that he wants Jack to rob a money plane. Oh, Scott, what's a money plane?
Oh, Carl, I'm glad you asked, because I don't think they know. It's a casino up in the air, which is an international... I guess international waters, but the sky...
Air. International air.
And anything's legal. And I do mean anything, which is, I think, not right legally.
Here's what confuses me, though, is a lot of what they do in the air is about betting on things happening on the ground.
Oh, on land, where land laws are very... You can't murder.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of murder. I think, is it 3 of the betting things they do?
Yeah, all on land.
All on land.
And I'm like, well, that's murder.
That's just murder.
So I guess murder's fine on land, but you can only gamble on it in the air.
Exactly. I guess that's true. I mean, you definitely get criminalized for murdering somebody, but betting, that's fine.
I guess this movie's flawless then.
Yeah, I get.
We tried to poke a hole in it,
Yeah.
but I guess not.
A lead balloon. So Kelsey Grammer's like, I need to rob this money plane. And like, they do the thing in Ocean's 11 where they're like, all right, here's the plan. We're going to do it like this. So, they have to get Jack, they have to get the female muscle, they have to get the techie
It's
guy.
not even them rounding up anyone. It's cut to them sitting in a circle and he's like, hey, so we've got to do a robbery one last time.
And everyone's just like, do we have to? And Jack's like, yes. And they're like, okay.
But what else does Jack have? Because how do we find out that he has a family?
Oh god, for like the worst exposition from the is it from his friend?
No, it's from the Kelsey Grammer going, hey, and if you don't do the job, I do have a picture of your wife and
that
child.
stock photo he just has.
Yeah.
Like, what? How did you get that?
I'm convinced that's not even the actress and the kid, but just the stock photo.
That's what I thought it was. I was surprised when the family showed up on screen.
I also can't believe that's still doing this. It's one last job. Like
What,
I'm
that
like
cliche?
it's that cliche. Like it's Rick and Morty.
I don't think
we're
this.
doing
I
it.
don't think this film gets to be like what's a cliche. I don't think they caught on to this. I think because it's meant to. Because I do think they're playing around. They don't really mind. It's like they're not trying to do something serious. I think they're trying to be tongue in cheek about it, but it's done so poorly that it just comes off as like I don't know. They parodied it, but it is bad. That's really what I'm getting at.
So then after this prologue, the credits start. The opening credits.
Nuts.
So 9 minutes into your 80-minute film, you've got a 4-minute opening credits segment. An eighth of your film is over. Why even do it now?
It's like a James Bond-esque catch it you can play blueprints. Oh.
Like, why is this here?
I don't know.
It clearly probably to pad it out, but also I'm like, don't do this long of a prologue. I was like, you're not Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. you don't get to do credits 20 minutes into your film.
Oh no, I do think because they finish the credits, and then is it immediately to? Are they just on the plane? They're boarding the plane. Yeah, and there's so many holes in it. I want to go into it.
So their plan is to rob $1 billion in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
On the plane, and so at this point is when I decided to look up the director, and this is when I made the amazing discovery of the fact that he is in the film,
the director,
and he wrote the film, and he produced the film.
He did a lot of things.
He's actually done 2 films this year, so he must have shot both of these back to back.
Yeah,
and he put himself in it, and turned out I actually recognized this actor. I watched a television show he was in.
Oh yeah, what show?
Called United States of Tara with Toni Collette and Brie Larson and.
Yeah, it's quite popular.
And he was in it, and I was like, huh, so this is where you are now.
I mean, he's also, I saw he's in the Mr. Bean film. That's like his biggest role.
Mm.
Is he just using? Because again, looking at the interview, it seems like he came to this production company. He's like, I got a plan, like an idea for a movie. And the production company's like, yeah, sick, we can do that. They were.
I don't think he's like, hey, I haven't got a script.
Yeah.
I haven't got a plan. I'm not a director or a writer, but I do have a title.
I got 2 words, you baby. How's
plain money.
He's like, all right,
yeah.
nah, I'm not a fan.
It's Justin Timberlake going, switch the words around. It's cleaner.
It's cleaner.
It's called The Money Flake.
The money.
Drop the V.
The plain money.
Come on.
Okay, so
wait, no, I don't want to get to the plane yet. I've still gotta talk about his perfect family life.
Oh,
they
were really setting up for his family to get kidnapped
or just
murdered.
be in the film more.
Yeah, they're just
they're there at the beginning and they're at the end.
That's it.
And in the middle, it's Thomas Jane playing
yeah.
video games. But so the whole perfect, like his perfect family. I've never the wrestler The Edge. Have you actually seen him in anything? I haven't watched wrestling since I was a kid. So
I've not either. I saw he was on Vikings. I think he's doing quite. Yeah, so I think he's a good. Like he's John Cena, Dwayne Johnson.
Are you about to say he's a good actor?
I'm gonna say if he's in Vikings, someone's gone. All right, you can act. You can have.
I think John Cena and Dwayne The Rock Johnson have charisma.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy has an ounce of charisma in this film.
I think. I'm gonna disagree. I do like him. Honestly, I like him a lot. I think he's a muscly.
Fuck you.
No.
Fuck you.
No.
Fuck you.
He's so.
Fuck you. Who would watch this? It's you, apparently.
I've given that quite a good score, actually. I've given it like 4 out of 10. I like it. I don't think I would forget it for a long time.
Go on, sorry. What's your defense of him as an actor?
I think he's just... Well, why would hit Dwayne The Rock Johnson and John Cena? I think he's more John Cena. I think he's very fun, big. He's just like, I'm just a guy. I'm just a big guy. And I kind of like that. I think...
It's funny how all of these, like... wrestlers turned actors have such like a teddy bear persona.
Yeah.
They're so like big but like really sweet.
Exactly.
And cuddly.
A bit cheeky, a bit comedic.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this guy has any comedic timing either, but we'll fucking digress, I guess. So he's having a pillow fort with his like kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's like, I want 5 more minutes of pillow forting. And the mom's like, no, you gotta go to bed. And he's like, go on, go to bed. And they stand up and he goes to his wife and he's like, I love you. And she's like, you are such a good father and husband.
Does he have any flaws?
Absolutely not. He's a male Mary Sue. Like, then my favorite thing is when they go to bed and we've established he's just a terrific, terrific family man. He starts to have nightmares of Kelsey Grammer from 3 minutes ago.
Oh, nuts. It's the same scene, but different room. I think Kelsey had 4 rooms in the house they rented. And they went, all right, we need to refilm this. He's like, I'm not relearning those lines. Like, just do the same lines.
He's like, no, I'm pretty sure he's like, fine, I'm going to face the camera and you're going to hold up a line card behind it. Okay? Because I can't do it any other way.
They screwed up, got the wrong lines. Like, I've got the exact same line.
Then, as he lays awake thinking of Kelsey, somebody begins to break into the house. So Jack gets a gun out of nowhere and he goes down and who would walk in but one of my favorite actors, Thomas Jane. Oscar, what's your history of Mr. Jane?
I didn't know he existed before this film.
Have you never seen Thomas Jane?
Who is this man?
Never.
No,
never seen the Mist and Dreamcatcher and the Punisher.
Name films I've never seen.
It's Thomas Jane. It's Thomas Jane.
All right, you seem very excited for this man.
I'm a big fan. I think Thomas Jane didn't get his due in Hollywood. I think it's a lot of fun.
And now he's getting it in Money Plane.
I was crushed. When he walked into this movie, I went, oh no. You can take Kelsey, but you can't take Thomas from me. Leave me, Thomas Jane. Please.
Now, what is Thomas Jane to Jack?
Thomas Jane to Jack is, he is the godfather of his daughter.
How do they establish that?
They establish it with the line, remind me again why I'd make you my daughter's godfather.
Perfect. I love exposition.
So, hey, how you doing, Jack? Hey, what are you doing here?
Why are you my daughter's godfather.
I don't know, it was my wife's idea. but also then it's like, very clearly, he's friends with Jack, and not the wife.
Yeah.
So why would it be the wife's idea?
So, and it establishes now that he is a colonel. That's right. He's like the top military general.
No, he is Colonel Sanders. He is the...
Go on.
He is the head of the franchise, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But he's just really good with a gun.
He's great with a gun.
Great
as
with kids
all
as well.
colonels are. He's great with kids. He can throw a kid's birthday party. He knows nothing about it. This is also... Thomas Jane's the only reason we find out he has a gambling debt.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't seem fitting. He's such a perfect family man. It's weird that he's off screen at the start, accrued $40 million worth of debt.
Living in this very mediocre Hollywood Hills house.
Oh, yeah.
Also, then it just cuts to Thomas Jane smoking a pipe. And what does Thomas Jane talk about? Just in case we haven't established it enough. He talks about a money plane.
He does talk about a money plane.
So you've got a rubber money plane, he says, sitting back with his cigar.
Like this is a common occurrence.
Yeah, like I think we're idiots for not knowing what money plane is. Like they talk about it like it's
like a
such
something thing. Exactly. Like, and I get maybe they're a bit shady and maybe it's in their world, but it's very like they just go a money plane. You got to rob that. I had to do one last Tuesday. It's very casual, and it's strange because it's such a foreign concept. Like, I don't even think the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
It's like the equivalent of like you're at work.
Yeah.
You know, you're at work and you're just like, hey man, what'd you get up to over the weekend? They're like, oh, I was on a money plane.
Oh, nice. It's like an escape room.
Yeah.
It's that kind of level of casualness.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Oh man, I gotta do one of those.
I did a money plane. Oh fuck! How was the Russian roulette?
Oh man, it was kind of fun. Brought the whole fam. Got some drinks before. Just really sat down the Russian roulette table.
Oh nice. Were you able to fuck the stewardesses?
No, they ripped my ears off. Ugh. But it's what you pay for.
Classic money plane scenario.
It's classic money plane scenario.
I thought they established Thomas Jane and Jack to be such good friends.
Yeah.
It was my assumption that Thomas Jane was going to end up to be the villain.
But
But to my dismay, I didn't realize that Thomas Jane clearly came onto set and went, "What? Kelsey Grammer's only doing one day of shooting? I only want to do one day of shooting." Then they were like, "Okay, great, Kelsey." So you don't want to do the final action sequence? No, get me a drone.
I don't want to. Does he have a voice? I can't remember. Does he control it, or is he just in the drone in the voiceover?
He shrinks himself. He's in the drone.
All right, let's get into my favorite part of the film.
Okay, so fast forward to we're going into the plane. What do you have to do before you go into the plane, Oscar?
You have to forfeit your guns, your weapons.
Yep.
But there's just so because Ocean's. Okay, I'm gonna draw a comparison to Ocean's 11. Most of the film is like preparing for preparing for the plan and everything like that.
Yeah.
Setting up, how you're gonna get this job and all this stuff.
Well, let's just quickly. A heist film has like a few very cliche things in it.
Yeah.
And one of them should be like a big twist. And one of the great things about Ocean's 11, if you haven't seen it, is you don't realize how much of the preparation is actually the plan unfolding. And that's what's fun about that movie is it's like, no, we weren't planning. The heist is kind of operational.
Yeah.
This is the start of the heist, but though it looks like we're planning sort of thing.
Exactly.
Plays off into it really well. Has a great, twist.
Whereas this film, they do like a quick hey, here's the rough plan, flash forward, and that's it. The plan is to. So I've written it down. So
the plan is absolute nonsense.
It's absolute nonsense.
If you want to try and explain it, by all means, but I'm going to check out.
Let me go. Okay, so the woman is going to disguise herself as a stewardess. First off, I don't know how she got the job on essentially the most high-end...
I think Kelsey Grammer has a throwaway line of, "I've already organised it."
So he's part of this plan. So he's organised most
Here's
of it.
the thing. So he should be on the money plane. I think that's a huge thing, is he likes money planes.
Yeah.
He usually is on one, because everybody knows of Kelsey Grammer.
Yes.
And they're like, the reason he's not here is because he's actually robbing
the
us.
place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can only assume that he's like the one that
Organized. Okay, that makes...
literally throwaway line of I've organized it all. You don't have to organize this heist.
Well, we'll brush over
great.
that.
Does that mean we get to the money plane quicker? No, we're going to have more exposition.
You're a godfather. Okay.
Who? Why?
They're family. They have to be friends. Okay, so the woman's plan is to get on board. She then knocks out the pilots, where Jack, the muscle, is going to fly the plane. I don't know why his role is just
We
flying.
haven't established he's a pilot, have we?
Well, I guess he's in the army, so I kind of draw that like he was a fighter pilot, but it's not.
Based on what?
He just says he's in the army, so I guess he's flown a plane. I'm not.
Kelsey Grammer's organised it.
He flies 10 hours of
But I
flight.
don't know how to fly a plane. Why I've organised it.
So
I know now.
Okay, so Kelsey Grammer's organised flight school for him. He's now flying the plane, where the tech guy on the plane is going to just get down.
He's the diversion, maybe?
No, he's not the diversion, because he's the tech guy, so he plugs his iPhone into
Right, because the
their
reason
mainframe.
the other guy has to be the downstairs tech guy is because they have to fly the plane through a certain part of the sky where the satellite on the ground can read the Bitcoin on the plane and download to the ground.
Yeah. So the two hacker guys are making a little antenna. Again, just through an iPhone.
All you're explaining right now, I have summed up in a sentence in my notes saying the science doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not. Someone gets thrown into like what they're hacking and gets electrocuted. It's very...
We'll get to it. Don't jump ahead.
No, I won't jump ahead.
We're only at getting onto the plane. We've got so much more to go.
There's so much to do. So that's their plan. And it seems to work. The woman's just sort of like helping out, I think. But that's the general plan. And for the most part, I think it pretty much works. But then anyway, so now, they're on the plane. They're getting onto the plane.
Yeah.
They forfeit their guns.
Yeah. The stewardess has apparently brought many guns.
Yeah. Where did she put one of the guns? Because when I was typing... So this film... I don't know about you, but I've been writing notes going, I need to pause this. So I was just writing down the last note and look up, and she pulls a gun out of her area. And I was just like, wow, this film is off to a great start. I've just written vagina gun as a note. So now they're on the plane.
Right, so they're on the plane. They've been given these digital wallet wristbands.
Yeah.
And we're getting introduced to some of the other people that are on the plane.
Yeah.
So our stewardess character, one of the heisties, she walks by, and one guy who's a stereotypical perv goes, "Nice, really nice." And I went, "Great, it's one of these films." Apparently, I threw my arms in the air and I went, "Great."
One of those guys. He also has a friend who's like. Just like even worse, just like I think they call him his dog.
Oh, they're so fucking horny.
They're so horny.
Oh, they're so horny.
I don't get it because they're like, wait, how much for the woman and the money plane technicians? We get into like how
23 minutes in, they say money plane again.
They do.
But I just like the fact that we've walked in on this plane. It looks so small and cheap. It then takes off into the air, and the exterior shot is the biggest fucking plane. They might as well cut to a cargo plane. It's huge.
It's massive. It looks like a 3-decker plane.
It looks so.
And this one looks like
basically cut to Air Force One.
Yeah.
And gone. Look, there's only one room.
There's one tiny passage the whole way through. Because I've got this. I feel bad because I don't know what the budget was, but. If you're trying to picture an elegant plane, I think they're trying to go for like Emirates because like all the hostess have that sort of similar scarf and red hat. One of the props, they go the luxury lounge. It's like a shitty bar with a lava lamp on top of it. They're just like
yeah, that was an expensive lava lamp. I'm surprised they didn't cut to an exterior of a warehouse flying off into the sky. Just a props warehouse, it says, and it just launches up.
Oh, there's just so much. It looks just so cheap, and it's meant to be $1 billion.
It's meant to be like the bougiest plane you'll ever be on.
Yeah, and it's not.
Oh, it's so terrible. We also then meet the concierge.
Yep. Who
is basically like, hey, these are the stewardesses. They will give you anything that you desire. And one of the guys is like, yeah, nice. And I'm just like, why are you so horny so quickly? You couldn't have been more horny so quickly.
He's like, I want to bet and just get with women.
But
then the concierge is like, okay, this must happen so often. He's like, don't worry, we have many prostitutes for you to have.
Pretty much.
And
Well, before that, the concierge, they take off and the flight's really smooth, and the concierge is like, hey, I selected these pilots myself because I myself am a pilot.
Which is not how...
No, but I just went, okay, so he's going to eventually fly the plane.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why say that line? Oscar, does the concierge ever fly the plane?
He never flies the plane.
Okay, then delete the fucking line.
No, because I like it, Carl. Because I like the idea that you have to be... Whatever job that you're hiring for, you want the best of the best, you have to then be the best of the best. So if you're a watchmaker, you need to be the best watchmaker to be able to have the keen skill to hire better watchmakers. That's the only way it can work. You can't just be like, oh, what's your qualifications? You have to be like, no, I have all the qualifications you have, and therefore you can be my pilot.
Yeah, well then why don't you just do the job that you're hiring me for? No.
He's the concierge.
Also, just like, the horny guy's like starts clicking at the concierge and is wait, how do I fuck one of these stewardesses? And the guy's like, oh my god, where'd you get that idea from? Why would you ever be allowed to fuck the stewardesses? And that's basically like, you led that guy to believe he could fuck it. The stewardesses would do what he wanted.
Exactly.
So that's on you, concierge. But then concierge claps his hands and whores walk out.
Whores emerge from the room and they're dull for like 5 seconds. They're like, yeah, I'm not horny anymore. And then that just goes out the window. Because a plot point for most of it is that these two rapey guys are trying to...
But such a huge plot point.
It's just they're trying to rape the woman. And that's...
Some of the worst writing you can put for a female. It's like, what does the female have to overcome for most of this heist movie? I don't know. Rape?
2 rapists.
Yeah. So no, we can't do 1 rapist. That's cliche.
No.
How could we top that? No. Double it.
Is that 3? Actually? Well, let's get into...
Okay. Well, we'll get into, just like, where'd all these whores come from? They're very cheap, because they've spent most of their $20 on the warehouse.
Exactly. They're just like, just cheap whores. That's what I don't really understand. Because this plane is like $1 billion. It's going to be so bougie. But there's so many like contradictions. It's such poor service.
Yeah.
It's such cheaply made sofas and like the poker table they're playing on is just a green mat. Not even like, doesn't even have the little cutouts for the poker. There's a lot of, it just feels like a child was like, what's the bougiest thing you can do? And that's what's on the film.
Because this is we like go and have a look at the casino room, essentially. There's really only 1 casino room.
Yeah.
But it's a money plane, and we know it's huge.
Yeah.
And we see that they're just using, like, the cheap, like, little poker chips that you would buy from any, like, Common House gaming store or Target or Trader Joe's.
They look cheap. They look just like from Target. It looked like cheaper than, not even like just a nice set. I think a nice set would, like...
It's what we play with.
Yeah.
Like, we play with such cheap chips.
Yeah.
And it's like Casino Royale had made its like own chips.
Yeah, they had those nice, like the $1 million was like a square. It looked cool.
Like they had like they spent so much money clearly making their own chip. Like, I mean, it's hard to compare. One has hundreds of millions of dollars, and the other one's called Casino Royale.
But here's my thing. But like poker chip, I feel like a bougie set's like $90. And I think that would have like flown. I think we would have been like, oh.
So did you say $90? How much money do you think we have to spend? For the listener at home, how much money have you got left in your wallet to spend on this movie? That's right, that's all you have left.
My mistake, sorry. So the $1 that went to poker chips is...
Yeah.
Maybe it's good, actually. No, honestly, for $1, that guy's got pretty good poker chips.
You know what? You know how there's that, like, TEDx talk about the guy that's like, I started with a paperclip and I ended with a house.
Oh, yeah, the trading.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing for this movie, where it's like, I started with a paperclip and I ended with this, with funding this entire feature. So it's like, hey, what can I get for $1? And they're like, I don't know, there's cum stains all over this casino set that I have. You can have that for $1. And he's like, great, I'll base a movie around this then.
What about this warehouse? Whoa, that's gonna cost you $5.
That's what he traded up for. He's like, hey, what can I get for this cum stained casino set? You can keep the casino set and you can have my warehouse.
Just get that out of here, my warehouse.
I can smell it from here. Take the casino set away from me. So we go to the game.
Yeah.
And basically everybody sits down and just starts explaining who everybody is at the poker table. It's like, hey, who are you? And he's like, I'm a sex trafficker and I'm a weapons analyst and I do other evil things.
Because Jack is pretending to be a child. Oh god, you're already laughing. Red point.
Can we? I just want to jump to it because that's pretty much the basically this stewardess comes down and is like, "Hey boy, can I get you a drink?" And one of them's like, "Nah, I'm good, thanks." And the other one's like, "Yeah, can I get this drink?" And then she's like, "Okay, cool." She walks away, comes back, has the drink, and then this guy just punches her in the face for no reason. And the concierge is like, "Hey, don't do that."
Oh, he's so like, all right, you get one punch, but I'm not happy about it. Okay, next time, I'm gonna be real mad. The rules...
Why did he punch her?
I don't know, it's so...
This is such a disgusting movie against women.
Oh,
So far, all of the women have been sexualized whores.
Or stock photos.
stock photos, or they've been punched. That's it so far. I have a feeling somebody on set lost it at this extra and punched her, and the director was like, "Ooh. Oh no, we can't cover the makeup. We cover that up. We'll have to put it in the film."
We're using film, so this is a film.
Hey, what can I get for this warehouse? I'll give you IMAX 70mm film.
Can I make it 16:9? I guess, if you want.
Can I lighthouse this? I want a square box. I'm going to do it black and white. The movie's called Money Plane.
Can you imagine Money Plane with Lighthouse's aesthetic?
Yes, I think it'd be great. A new character then comes and sits down at the table. Who's this character, Oscar?
This is the reason why I think this film... I think it knows its shit. I think it knows its shit because they introduced this character, and my god... It's a cowboy. He's wearing a fake moustache, and he's a cowboy.
What level of cowboy?
Drugged up cowboy that just wants to have fun. What's the first line he says? He's talking to...
Yeehaw!
Yeah, he says that, and then he talks to Jack. He's like, what do you do? What does the cowboy do? He doesn't explain. He doesn't get told what this cowboy's monetary, job is.
He's cowboying.
He's cowboying. He's on a money plane as a cowboy.
Probably oil.
I guess it must have been that.
Now... The actor that they've gotten for the cowboy.
Yeah.
How do you think they cast him?
Do you know the answer?
Yes.
See, I don't know the answer. Is it the director?
It's not the director, but you're close.
Okay. Is it his brother or something?
It's the director's brother.
Oh, no. Because the cowboy's a lot of fun. I mean, we're jumping ahead a bit, but his introduction is that, he's one of the least horniest of the men, but he's just so keen to gamble. He wins.
So keen to gamble. Also, the concierge. How do you think he got his role?
God damn it. Is he the brother as well? No, he's not.
All three of them are brothers. Andrew Lawrence, Joey Lawrence, and Matthew Lawrence.
Oh, God, that explains so much.
Oh, everything makes so much sense.
Because the concierge is kind of a bit average, and the cowboy's nuts.
Oh, the cowboy... This movie has such low energy.
Yeah.
It's so...
That's the thing, because...
So low energy. And this cowboy comes onto screen and dials this movie up to 11. And I was instantly in love with all of the creative decisions that this movie chose to take from this point on.
He's on 5 minutes, and I think he's nailed it. Because before this, I think... Everyone's so flat. No one really has any emotion. Because essentially, they're robbing up... Kelsey Grammer has a bit of emotion, but for the most part, Jack's very... I guess I better rob a plane. So you're very, you're right. It's low energy. Can we just jump into the poker scene?
Okay. Yeah, so a montage starts to play, because the cowboy's like, Hey, let's just
Let's
play
play some-
poker, y'all.
Let's play some me poker. Texan holder.
And so begins the dullest poker montage I've ever seen of like a card sliding here and a chips.
We compare it to like
Casino
Casino Royale,
Royale.
which is like that M1 where everyone has like the best hand possible.
Stakes are so high.
Oh, it's like I got a 4 kings. Well, I have 4 aces.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a straight, and then.
Oh, wait, hang on, so we're not actually at that. We're still going through just the concierge, like going, "Wow, what a game!" And then we get to this like insane pot that must be millions,
Yeah.
right? And it's the main character. Jack goes all in. What do the other characters do?
Well, the rapist guy is like, "Gar, I'm so rapey."
He's a
I'm
pirate now too.
He's a rapey pirate. He's like, "I'm all in too." And then the cowboy's like, "Ugh, you make me so horny. I'm all in." And I was just like, "God, you're great." But
So they've
so
they've
they're
all gone
in.
all in, which in poker makes no sense because you have to make separate pots unless they've all got the exact same amount of
Yeah.
The only way that this works is
They
if
all had the exact
same amount of
Yeah.
chips, right?
So what's do you remember what's on like basic game of poker? Like there's a
Yeah.
7, a 3, a king. It's
And
pretty like
yeah.
it doesn't look like there's like a major like there's like a royal flush.
It's
there.
like, I think in the time the camera was off, those people sat there and played a game of poker,
Yeah.
and that's genuinely what came up, and
Yeah.
they went, "We need to start rolling."
Exactly.
And so it's revealed, what does the main character go all in on?
Is it a pair of 3s?
It's a pair of 4s.
4s. And you're just kind of like, oh well, maybe he snaked them, maybe he got them. The rapist guy immediately has a better card,
Yeah.
and then the cowboy's like, oh, I've got a pair of kings.
I've got a royal flush.
Yeah. And he wins, and you're kind of like, oh, Jack didn't win. And you kind of think maybe that's a plot point. Maybe the chip's like tracking, or it's like or just like to get them in like comfortable. But no, it's just shit at poker.
So then Jack gets up and is like, "Okay, Patrick Lamont Jr., you can sit down. You can have all my money, and now it's up to you to now play the rest of the money playing."
Now, is this part because it's essential that he wins? Like he has to win, or at least stay in the game, or at least cause a distraction.
Is it? Why is that essential?
He needs to be because he needs to be like.
Scene.
Yeah,
Yes.
he needs to be like making a big show. He's the diversion. I think.
Yeah, I think he's the diversion.
He's the diversion.
He's what, if you've ever seen like one of the Fast and Furious ones that are later and more heisty,
Yeah,
it's, the Tyrese Gibson making a scene at a party.
yeah,
Sort of thing. I think that's what he's supposed to be doing.
yeah.
So
So it's essential that he makes a big show.
yeah, but so while he continues to gamble,
Mm-hmm.
Jack gets up and pretends to be drunk to throw off the stewardess and is like, "Wait, look at this!" I think it's his best acting in the movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's like, "Wait, oh, I'm gonna take this bottle of Jack Daniels."
And the series is like, that always happens. I got groped 30 minutes ago. Like,
Pretty much. And then during this, the other stewardess
Mm.
who's in on the heist, she goes like downstairs, and then the rapist pops out of nowhere.
oh yeah.
And he has the classic line. Do you know the line I'm talking about? Or did you not take note of it? I'm going to give it to you the most as seductive as he does. Oscar,
Okay, good. I'm ready.
get in close.
Got your eyes in. Let's get real nice and close.
Rules are meant to be fucked. Wanna fuck? That's the line, word for word.
The woman, and she's quite good at like going like, no, I'm not interested. It's a very awful. It's just a grim scene. Is this the one where he doesn't get anything? She's just like,
Yeah,
no,
she's like, no thanks, and he's like, I'll come for you.
I'll
later.
come for you later. I'll come back again. It's just
it's unsettling predatory behavior.
anyway. She gets up. She hands Jack the bag. Is that what's correct? He just has the laptop. He's got the cockpit.
It cuts back to the Russian roulette.
Yes.
And so it turns out the black guy said yes to playing Russian roulette.
Yeah.
And we're given, I genuinely think, a pretty fun piece of comedy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
And I think if this movie was tweaked in certain ways, you'd have a really fun spoof movie on a heist.
Definitely, I think so too.
I don't know why the movie didn't go like complete
Spoof.
comedy.
Yeah, because it's kind of it's like meant to be dramatic. I think it's
Yeah.
very cheap, so you can't really tell.
It's-
I can't tell what they're trying to be like.
Neither.
Yeah,
But this is my favorite scene in the movie. Basically, we're left, we're not sure what he's playing. A gun comes down the table. People come out in ponchos to stand around.
It's great.
The gun gets spun and put in the middle. And, like, the guy's like, hey, we're going to play Russian roulette. And the black guy is like...
concerned, but not like...
doesn't really care.
He doesn't really care. He's like, oh, I don't want to play this.
Yeah. He's like, alright, fine. I guess we'll play... And what is the host is like...
The host is like, okay, so you're the newbie, so you have to take the first shot. And then the cowboy is like, nah, I want to do it. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, you can take it. So he slides the gun to the cowboy.
Yeah.
And then the concierge is like, nope, it has to be you. And it's just back and forth and back and forth. The cowboy's, let me do it, I want to do it. And then finally the concierge is like, no, you're not. This guy is going first. That is the rules. The cowboy's like, fuck you, I'm going. Grabs the gun, puts it to his mouth, blows his brains out. And it's so unexpected, and it's very funny.
He falls back out of frame, and his legs jiggle in the air.
And there's so much blood sprayed across the horse and the other, like...
across the horse, all the horse. And it's like, alright, great, next game. So just...
Oh, and another thing is, it comes back, the cowboy's like just thrown into a ditch. If that's like just a normal game for this, like, plane, they need a morgue. I'm sorry. They don't have a morgue, and so many people die on this plane, and they're prepared for that, but they've just bundled him in a corner.
They also have a no violence rule and immediately start playing
Russian
roulette.
Yeah.
We then get back into the plan of Jack and the other girl.
Yes.
Whose name escapes me.
Yeah.
And their plan is to overthrow the cockpit.
Yes.
And, a heist movie has complications. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the plan, but there's a complication.
But we have a plan B.
Turning points. What is it that they don't anticipate that becomes a complication?
Goodness. They walk into the cockpit, they fight the first guy, and then just like the camera just sort of pans out, and the second pilot's just sitting there going, hey, you can't attack my friend. And now Jack's outnumbered. There's just two of them. And it's such a weird fight scene because he's kind of losing.
But it makes no sense. He's like, a second pilot?
Whoa! What's going on here?
He didn't realise that's how planes work.
Which is so famous.
He's like, hey, Kelsey, when you told me you'd taken care of it,
I thought there'd be one pilot. I was under the guise that you had prepared for me with the knowledge that I thought there was only one guy driving. One guy drives a car. Why would there be two car pilots? Silly.
They have this fight, and then Jack wins, he sits down, and the fight starts again, and the co-pilot puts his finger, hooks his finger and puts it in his mouth, and cartoonishly is like, you come back here! And they're like, we're in a shuffle again. And Jack picks up some shitty headphones that are like, probably from like garbage.
Yeah.
These old Bose headphones that don't work, wraps the string cord around him and chokes him to death in like just a second.
Like, I'm done. Sits down, opens his laptop. He's like, hey, Kelsey.
We then cut back and the concierge finds somebody cheating.
Yes.
How does the concierge deal with cheaters?
Well, honestly, I like this policy because they have a no cheating policy. He just, out of nowhere, grabs a silence gun and shoots him in the head.
And he's like, oi, everybody listen.
Which is nuts.
What did I say?
Yeah, because he's such like a parent, but he's so varying. Because like these two rapey guys have like punched people and like try to grope the contestants. And he's like, well, that's no, stop that. But some guy has an ace in the sleeve, he shoots him in the face, and he's just the same level of like rules are rules.
And clearly, Patrick Lamont Jr. has not learned his lesson of randomly betting on shit.
Oh god,
because he then sits back down there like, hey, you want to bet again? And he's like, all right. And they just like,
does he have lines? I don't think he has many lines.
He doesn't say a lot.
No, I didn't like. Is there even a British? Have you even mocked a British accent?
Oh yeah, I just keep. That's if something's all right, you do all right.
He kind, but honestly,
I don't think he's British. I think he's American.
But he could have been British. I don't remember him saying.
He pulls like a Don Cheadle and does like over the top.
hello, Bryan, I'm on my puppet, alright, silly bee?
Yeah. This isn't a Fred Flintstone situation, it's more of a gumbo, bumbo, mumbo, jumbo. They're like, wow, Don, what you're doing isn't mocking our civilization at all.
The British are allowed, it's fine.
You guys have the Queen, you're doing well. So he sits down and turns out what they're doing is they're like betting on violence. What's the first scenario?
Is this the hand chopping one or is this the cobra?
This is the hand chopping one.
See, I've written this, I've just gone, what were they betting? Because it's just, so like the stakes are like, it looks like just like a Russian like small apartment. There's two guys playing cards and they're all betting and betting and betting and betting and betting, and then suddenly the guy slices one of the other hands off. Yeah. What were they betting?
I think they were betting on how much until the guy slices his hand? Or how much until the...
They don't list the rules, because I just...
Because the other ones are based on time.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
I don't get how the hand chopping one is based on time.
Yeah, because I was expecting, like... I thought it was more just like a... Yeah, like something that bash.
Was it like, who wants to bet this guy is going to chop his hand off? Or chop the other guy's
But
hand off?
they don't explain it, and somehow he wins.
Yeah.
I don't know how he won, because they haven't listed the rules. Honestly, that's the biggest problem with this film. They haven't listed the gambling rules, which I'm furious about.
For a movie mostly based around gambling.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Seems important to me.
I feel like the money plane's very like, alright, we've got one game at a time, and just the next person...
And there's only like 5 gamblers.
Yeah. It's a very weird plane.
So, while Jack's flying the plane,
Yeah.
he gets a call from Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Who's like, hello. He's weirdly changed character completely and is like, should we have code names? What's going on here? I want to be able to see the video. This really crisp, like, FaceTime situation.
Furious. I'm like, they're in a plane. It's so hard. They've like set up this like signal so they can transfer the Bitcoin, which is a 2-man operation, yet he can just chat on like Skype. Yeah. Crystal clear.
Kelsey Grammer's like, hey, you got Messenger on?
They're chatting, but then I remember he's like, I want to be able to see everything. That's Kelsey Grammer's like caveat.
But it's just his camera staring at Jack.
Yeah.
Do we think Kelsey Grammer's character maybe has a crush on Jack?
Maybe. Did he buy his debt to get a little bit closer to Jack?
Do you think?
Can you rob that money plane?
Hey, what do we say we fuck the rules and I fuck you instead? And he's like, I'd rather do the money plane, Kelsey.
Shit. Alright, fine, we'll do it.
You do it then. It then cuts back again. So it turns out that Patrick Lamont Jr. has won.
Yeah,
he's won the bet again.
Yeah.
And it cuts back, and now it's how long will this guy last fighting against a cobra?
He's got the cobra, and then they've got the piranhas. They've got 2 time ones, which makes sense. I get that. That's like, cool, how long's it gonna last? Yeah. He wins every time.
Yeah. And then during this, the director, actor, writer, producer, and hirer of his brothers is just in a montage of setting up antennas just down on the ground.
What was up with the banana? He has a banana.
Oh, I wrote this down too.
He's got like so much stuff, and he has like 4 bananas. And I think he's bored, but he just keeps eating. It's like a montage of him biting a banana, stabbing a banana. A lot of banana related. I don't know if it was a joke or...
My comment was, there's a scene where the director eats a banana and I've never felt so abused.
Oh, it was really gross. I didn't like it at all.
And it's just him being bored.
Yeah. And then it cuts away. That's before he's attacked, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So then they have to like block the communications on the plane.
Yeah.
And it really confuses me. So
oh god, we're going to the science of it. It is nuts.
So it really confuses me that they block communications by playing a song throughout the plane. Yes. And the chick is like over $1 billion on board. Oh, so there's money in a safe as well for some reason, even though there's Bitcoin.
I think there's cash on hand.
But
Bitcoin,
people betting cash?
And untraceable.
Why is there both? So, but the safe, which I assume has a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
There's only one.
Yeah.
One guy guarding it, and he doesn't have a gun. He has a phone.
Oh,
which is phone for more people to help.
I thought because they'd taken their guns, I'm like, all right, cool. If there's just like guards with a gun, 2 guards with a gun, they're outmatched.
I get that nobody has a gun up. Like, the concierge has a gun.
Yeah, but why don't the guards guard in the safe?
Yeah.
And there's like cocaine, and these people are evil people.
Yeah.
So you assume that stealing's on the table for them.
Mm. But she's basically like, hey, you want to dance? And he's like, what? I don't know you. And she's like, joke's on you. I'm going to kill you. And he's like, huh?
Huh? What's going on?
What? And they have one of the worst choreographed fights I've seen
it's
committed
awful,
to
isn't it?
film.
It's just like, I want you to punch. Is this the bottle one yet? It's not the bottle.
No, it's not the bottle one yet.
He just...
I think this is the one where she uses her heel.
Yes, she throws her heel and it stabs him in the heart.
She's got knife heels.
She's got knife heels. She's not established. Just sharp heels.
Why are there all of these holes in the ground all over the plane? She's like, sorry, knife heels.
Knife heels.
Sequel idea? Yes.
Oh, we can go into the sequels.
The knife heel. Drop the. So
heel
knife. Heel knife. She gets to the vault and she's like, oh no, there's a complication.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? What is it? And then she opens the safe.
Oh yeah, because at the moment the plan's going flawlessly.
Yeah.
Everything's going well.
Yeah.
The hacker guy on top, maybe he's betting a bit weird, but that's fine. The safe is that like, oh no, it's not a spinny safe, it's a tappy safe. And she's like, don't worry, I killed this guy, I've got his hand. Tap, we're in.
It's like, don't have the complication then.
Yeah,
just have it be the spinny safe.
Exactly.
So we then cut to Thomas Jane is sitting by a computer and has been doing some investigating.
Yeah.
And it turns, that's how we know he's been doing investigating.
Yeah.
He's got a typing machine.
Tap, tap, tap. He's in the bit of dark.
Turns out Kelsey Grammer already owns the painting, so something seems off.
Oh, it seems very off.
The museum was a setup.
I like the idea Kelsey Grammer has built the museum. Just as one room. And was like, go rob that. And Jack, because let's face it, Jack's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I don't think he understood that it was a fake museum. And it was just a one bedroom. It's like, there's a painting there. Go rob that.
You know, at the beginning, I thought the whole point was the painting was going to be invisible and that was the art or something like that. And the other like, the painting's not there. And then the guy was like, what? Yes, it is. And I was like, I'm very
Look
confused.
closer.
Yeah, look closer. And it's
Dim.
yeah, it's like, now you see me. It's like, wow, the Four Horsemen.
We need to talk about that.
Well, we can definitely do an episode. I could do hours on Now You See Me Too.
Oh my!
What a mess.
Oh, Now You See Me One's disgusting. I mean, we're getting up. Now You See Me One.
Fuck it, let's do the review now.
Yeah.
We open on Mark Ruffalo.
No, we're staying on this. So the twist has happened that Kelsey Grammer has set Jack up and now is setting him up for the money plane.
Yeah.
So what's Jack's plan?
So, do we say his plan now? Or he's basically like, this is why we have a plan B?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, it's good we have a plan B because it's only as good as our plan A. And they're all like, yes.
It is.
Nodding in agreement. So Patrick Lamont Jr. Comes downstairs, helps Katrina Norman pack up all of the money. The rapist is then like, huh, what's going on here? And then just shies back again.
Yeah, they're freely allowed to walk and roam across.
Well, they've killed the one bodyguard.
Of course, they're like,
all he had was a phone to phone for more help.
There's the guy, the concierge.
Yeah, can you get the concierge with a silencer down here?
We need it.
No, he's found more people cheating, and he's just obliterating people.
His customers.
The two guys follow Patrick Lamont Jr. and Katrina Norman are both like, they're going to be suspicious that we're away for so long.
Yes.
Let's go back upstairs. It then cuts away and they're back downstairs again and ready to do the signal transmission down to the director on the hill. It turns out two people have followed them to the bottom of the plane.
Why, it's the rapist and his dog?
Who would have thought? Those two would be a complication.
They've only said it in 4 scenes.
Yeah.
And it just...
all they've done is want to rape.
Yeah. It's their only motivation, it seems.
What's his line to try and intimidate the woman?
God, I can't remember. What is it?
Who stole the cookie from the
cookie
my
jar? God, sorry, yes. Not me.
It couldn't be.
I can't believe they wrote that. Sorry, I blanked that from my mind. I'm like, oh god, it's not too bad. And then just like, so slutty.
This is written in the script and they've gone, I just wrote this line.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god, what's the line you've put in the script? And he's like, who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? And the director's just gone, chilling.
I literally have chills.
Goosebumps.
I've got goosebumps
everywhere. He's like, fuck. I'm gonna have to dust off that shelf for my Oscar. Like,
he left it for years. Gone. Well, finally now I can start dusting again.
So they do one of like the long. So basically, when you're filming an action sequence, usually, unless you've gone for like an aesthetic kind of like the Bourne movies, which are very kind of realistic shaky cam,
Jumpy,
but you know that they've done the proper choreography and everything like that.
Yeah.
So then in these cheaper movies, when they do lots of cuts, like in the earlier scenes that we saw, it's because they're cutting around two actors or two stuntmen that don't really know how to do what they're doing.
Fighting. Yeah.
This is then a fight scene that's shot for longer. And it's so slow.
It's
painfully slow.
Saying that though, my favorite... I wrote this down. I thought... I've done a bit of research. During the scene, the woman grabs the man by his ears and rips them off. Now, I thought that was silly.
Upset you.
I really upset me. I'm like, that's impossible. There's no way that can happen. Apparently, ripping an ear off is a lot easier than you'd think, Carl. How many sheets of paper do you think would be the equivalent of ripping off an ear?
Like a lot. I think ripping an ear off would be hard. I don't know. What's a ream of paper?
Like
when you get like a thick ream of like printer paper.
It's about 300 pieces.
Half of that. Let's say 150 reams of paper.
20 pages.
So we could.
So if you can rip 40 pieces of paper, you can rip off a man's 2 ears.
No. That's it?
That's a little bit of homework for you podcasters.
Well, so this movie's just... we keep trying to find a plot hole.
Yeah.
And there's not one. It's airtight.
That's the issue. Who would watch this? I think everyone should go and watch this.
Oh my god. We can't spoil it. So, they have this fight. She starts smashing many bottles.
Oh yeah. Where'd they get the bottles?
Don't know.
There's a thing there's drinks cards.
Right. No, it's the one bottle that Jack took earlier when he was like, oh, I'm an alcoholic.
They made a lot of point of that. They kept sort of like putting it down, having it in the back of the shot. I'm like, that's coming back. It doesn't come back.
So the rapist guy very definitively dies by getting stabbed and ears are off and stuff.
Yeah.
The other guy, not really sure how he dies. He gets, what would you say, gets lightly pushed?
Yeah. Oh, into... the console that they're hacking.
Yeah.
Sparks fly.
Yeah. Even
though it's just like the front of a computer, and dies. And does that cause an issue? I can't remember. Does it make the plane stop or something? I can't remember. Or just nothing happens.
I think
Is there any consequences?
You see, I thought it was a consequence, but then it turns out that the plane just flew past it out of the zone.
Yeah.
So then they weren't the consequence, I don't think.
Okay, so he just gets smashed into the front of the computer.
But the acting of him getting electrocuted is so poor.
Oh,
it's just a little wiggle.
A little wiggle.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was the actor that did the stunting on the two legs pointed up in the air, dangling after he got shot. Where's my brother? Bring my brother back in here.
Please watch this film just for that shaky. It's so nuts, insane. Anyway,
so we then cut to the ground where the director is clearly they shot during the day and have put a blue filter over the top to make it look nighttime.
It's meant to be nighttime, but it's daytime.
Yeah.
So then he's getting raided by like 7.
Oh, this hasn't happened yet.
Oh, sorry.
It's just a little like, hey, the director's still down here.
Oh, just hey. Oh, cause that's right. He calls down like, where the hell are you guys?
Yeah, why? This is at 55%.
Yeah.
We need another 45.
Yeah.
Because 55 plus 45, if you do the math, you put the 45 over the 55 and you go down. So 5 and 5 is 10.
This is verbatim, by the way.
And you carry that one. carry that one over to the other 5 and the 4, and you plus that one. That makes a 10. You put that 10 down the bottom, and then that's 100. And that's what we have to hit 100. Okay?
And they're already
verbatim, that's what happens. I shit you not.
Yeah, it's nuts. All right.
Money plane.
So
then Kelsey Grammer gives them a call and is like, hey, what's happening?
Just checking in.
Oh, wait. And he's like, don't call me. I thought we had nicknames.
Yeah, a bit cheeky. He's like, call me Colonel.
And then he gets put on hold. And he's all like driving the plane.
Yeah, Jack's being cheeky because he's like, oh, I found out your plane. Jack's barely in this. He's driving.
He's done so little. He's sat in the cockpit for so long.
He lost a game of poker and was like, I'm going to try beat up 2 guys, fail at one, and now I'm just flying the plane.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
He then comes back on, and Kelsey Grammer's like, hey, you work for me.
Yeah.
You can't put me on hold. And Jack's all like, what if I don't work for you? What if you're a little bitch?
Oh, yeah. And Kelsey Grammer's like an old man, like, preposterous.
Yeah.
How could you?
Does his
Yeah,
Richard
the
Nixon.
wiggle.
It then just randomly cuts to a dinner being cooked. Just people, just
Who's dinner for, Carl?
it's for one of the greatest living actors of all time, Thomas Jane.
Never heard of him. Now
He's put spaghetti in. He's doing a little bit of sauce. Maybe he's grating a little bit of cheese. He's having a cheeky
He's
dinner.
having a lovely little. He's in like a little cottage. He's having a nice time.
But that's what confuses me. Is it looked like it was a different house to what he was in? Because he's supposed to be guarding the mum and the
That's what I
child.
thought. But it looks like he's gone home.
So why would they raid him? Because Kelsey Grammer's like, okay, now go kill the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, I heard raid Thomas Jane. And he's like, no, that's no.
I'm out of signal. But at the house, you'd assume, oh, you're going to see the family they're trying to kill. You don't see them. It's just him.
The absolute dumbest SWAT team I've ever seen.
Oh, it's disgusting. They just walk in, and Thomas Jane's like, oh, okay, no, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
He just takes out so easily.
And this is only an action sequence because then he resorts to his drone.
God. Okay, yeah. So at this point now, he's like, I'm not filming any more scenes.
So who's going to then try and kill the director? Do we know why that complication occurs?
No, he's just. Because I don't know why. I assume Kelsey must have set up this plan. We've established he's set up this plan, right?
Oh, so we think he's going to now go and fuck over.
I think so. I think he's like, screw the plan. I don't want to be involved.
I've got it covered.
Yeah, I've got it covered.
I set it up.
So he's going to kill the director.
Yes.
The director is in like a field with like satellites and like antennas and stuff, just sort of trying to like lay low. I think 8 people start shooting at him, and he has this tiny trestle table, knocks it over. He's like, "Cool, I'm protected."
Not the trestle table. I'm protected. Little did we know the trestle table was made of trestle.
Yeah. Trestle is bulletproof. Did you know that?
We keep on trying to find flaws, but we can't. The script's airtight.
It sucks. I'm like, oh, maybe that table wouldn't be up. But then the director's like, no, in the commentary, we actually go into the detail.
Fuck, could you imagine if there was a commentary on this?
I'd love to see, because I think, honestly, the cowboy scene has like redeemed it a lot for me. Because I think they know it was like shit and a bit fun. But there's so much just poorness about it.
Here's the thing. If you're not given much money, don't make an action film. Make a cheap horror.
Yeah.
Or a low-level drama.
Or a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, listen, that cowboy
basically any other genre.
Yeah. It looks cheap. And it looks like it has like a nothing budget. And if you can get Kelsey Grammer and The Edge, maybe they signed on just for the script.
It's like, so if you've got Kelsey Grammer and you've got The Edge, and you've got Thomas Jane, like, I feel like that's money you don't spend it on them.
No. Yeah, because he's got he reached out to Kelsey Grammer. He wanted Kelsey Grammer, and he got him. So he must have had either money or some sort of backing. And it's just nuts that they made this.
Yeah.
It is fun though, and we had chatting about it. So maybe maybe they're smart. We're dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going on with the plot. There's so much to go. I think we're talking longer than the movie.
We are.
Which is nuts because each minute is like you need to pause.
Basically, they decide that they're not going to steal the money. They're going to give the money to charity.
Because Jack somehow is like so like morally unbreakable.
You are the head of a heist group.
Yeah.
You don't get to be like, I'm taking the moral high ground today, thank you.
Because he does that. Because when he first meeting everyone, he's like, "What do you guys do?" Like, I sell guns. And he's like, "That's awful. Why would you do that?" And the guy, rightfully so, goes, "You traffic children."
Yeah.
What do you mean? How can you have a leg to stand on here? But yeah, he's like, Jack is unbreakable. He's like, so like, no, we're going to do this the right way.
Also, during all 3 of the key heist players being down below deck, who's flying the plane?
Just press autopilot.
Maybe that's the reason they have their line of, "That's okay, I'm a pilot too." And you're like, oh, but who ended up flying the plane for the rest of the movie? And you're like, oh, the concierge probably did because he was also a pilot.
Oh, I guess.
Oh, we keep finding fault, but it's airtight.
It's airtight. I was thinking, oh god, I literally didn't think they were going to crash the plane into Kelsey
Yeah.
Grammer at one point. I was like,
I thought the plane was going to come together. Like, you don't realize the airfield
Yeah.
is above you.
Yeah, because Jack's like, because Kelsey's like, what are you going to do? You've got nothing on me. And I'm like, are they going to just like smash into him?
Oh yeah, Jack starts to then recount the 3 main rules again. And this is where I thought a twist was going to occur.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No.
And it's basically like, hey Kelsey, guess what? I placed a giant fucking bug under the table that you've only recognized now. When he tried to flip it, but did such a poor job flipping the table of Vanguard, he was like, huh?
Also, this entire plan, because this is like the twist, is completely hinges on the fact that Kelsey Grammer is sitting at that table when they're having like the Skype meeting. He's a big house. He's gone into many rooms. He's not sitting at that table while he's Skyping Jack. Because like the line he plays is like Kelsey Grammer going, "I'm the big villain and I'm gonna get you guys." If he wasn't next to that walkie-talkie, Kelsey Grammer's after them. I don't understand how Jack could have risked that. But then again, it's a money plane, so anything can happen.
It's a money plane.
It's a money plane.
It's a money plane. So now, basically, it's a free-for-all. So basically, the concierge is like, hey, all the money was stolen, but I'm going to reimburse you. Rest assured, and also, we're just going to kill Kelsey now. So then a bunch of people in masks go to Kelsey Grammer's house.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer's beginning to freak out.
Yeah.
The offsider's like, hey, Kelsey, I think I'm going to go, because I think we're going to die.
That's the issue with everyone in this film. No one's like really got the stakes of like, no, I might die.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And I love the fact that so the bodyguard's like, okay, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And Kelsey's like, all right, fine, but wait here a second. Takes 2 steps, walks back with a gun and shoots his own guard. And it's like,
yeah.
Just because you were like, no, if I'm going to die, you should too.
And then he goes all Scarface and just shoots off screen.
Oh, and the guns have the worst cartoonish flash on them.
Yeah, it's like the whole...
it's so white.
Yeah.
And so big. It's such a... Do you watch Corridor Crew on YouTube?
No, I don't.
They like break down effects.
Oh yeah, no, I have seen
They've
that,
done
yes,
one
yeah.
on... They've done one where they talk about how they make their flash effect on guns. Yeah. And theirs looks so good. And they're, you know, on YouTube.
Exactly. It's just like
so
a plug-in.
if you made a movie...
with worse effects than someone you get from a YouTube tutorial.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous. That $20 is getting stretched very thin. Very thin.
They couldn't buy the Adobe license fee on there.
So then they all jump out of the plane, flipping off Kelsey up in his camera. They're all like, "Hey, Kelsey, fuck you."
I need to talk about this because when you open, maybe it's just movies. Maybe this film is actually flawless and I have nothing to stand on. But if I opened a plane, I assume everything gets sucked out quite hard.
I think the plane was flying low.
Well, again, my point's mute. This film is flawless. Anyway, they jump out the plane.
It's landed.
They jump warehouse. In the
warehouse.
Oh, I guess this was a plane money. Anyway, so they jump out the thing with all the money scattered and all the Bitcoin distributed to charities.
Yeah, who's the money? They just throw the money into the sea?
Yeah.
Could have probably donated that too.
They probably didn't even need it. They probably didn't need the money unless they wanted the fun effect. I think they went, oh, we can do money. And then I think someone said, we can just do Bitcoin. It's probably better. They went, oh yeah, we got all this money. We spent $5 and the $20 on the money. Better use it.
So then it cuts to 3 months later.
Yeah.
There's 2 people opening a crate where there should be a painting. The canvas comes up, and it's of a cartoon drawing of somebody flipping everybody off.
Yep.
I don't get what's happened.
Which is the most important.
Like, is that the twist? Can you imagine if we didn't get it? We're just going to get emails from our listeners just being like, it's actually you idiots.
The painting was the plane.
I'm beginning to think maybe we have missed something because the script's very clearly airtight.
Yeah.
So maybe we have missed the twist because I don't get.
But here's my issue. Here's my issue. That seems like a really cool story of how they
got the painting. Because I think when they go to jump out, they're like, we're just going to heist that painting now.
Yeah.
And it goes 3 months later, they're like, hey, that was a pretty crazy heist we did getting that painting. And I'm like, also, you said that the plane was your last job.
And they also said, like, morally and, like, it's too, like, we can't be involved with this criminal like underground, and then they steal a painting and sell it to a high bidder. Where do you think that money's like coming from?
Also, the actor, Jack, just has his hair down. He's had it tied up the whole movie, but he's got his hair down. He's finally happy with his family, and his hair looks fucking lush.
This man looks so attractive.
Yeah, this man to be Thor.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh god. Sorry, Chris, we've got a new Thor. Honestly, yeah.
He's on the phone.
I would agree with that. God, Jack's so attractive. We can't understand this. The man's gorgeous.
Jack is like a 10 out of 10 on like the masculine scale.
Oh god, he's so
big.
Does he take
he's
his
just
shirt
beef.
off? Does he take his shirt off?
No, but he should.
He should have.
Jack's also on the phone to Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane's like, hey, guess what? The painting increased in value. It's now worth 60 million. Yeah. He's like, that's a lot of money for you guys to split 4 ways. And he's like, Jack's like, no, Thomas Jane. You're a part of this too. You're a part of this heist family. We're going to split it 5 ways.
Aww.
And Thomas Jane's like, wow. Should we get here? I teared up.
I'm going to say this now.
Tearing up now, recounting it.
I'd be pretty furious if they didn't include me.
Absolutely. I'd be like,
I saved you guys with my I looked after your family. Yeah. I helped the
I've done most of the legwork.
Yeah. Kelsey Grammer should be getting most of the money, and this man.
I don't get how they've stolen the painting. It then pans out, and he's like, I'm going to go play with my kid and wife near the pool now. And the painting's leaning up against a fence.
Oh yeah, just out in the open.
Also, they now just have a dog.
It's been 3 months, Carl. A lot can happen. Sure. Steal painting. Buy a dog.
It's cheaper by the dog. It's been 3 months. He's got 11 more kids, and he's like, that money's coming in. Thank God.
Thank goodness. I was behind in rent.
Oh, and then the fucking movie's credits roll.
Yeah.
That's all I have for you. I can't talk about this any longer.
No, we can talk. I had sequels planned.
I mean, no, I can. Let's do it. Let's get into pitching our sequels.
All right, cool. Let's just smash it. We'll talk about what we think.
What have you got? I've got Money Boat, Money Train, Money Automobile, Money House, Money Snake, Money Hang Glider, Money Blender, Money Store, Money Bank, Money Casino, Money Chair, and then the gritty final film, Money.
It's like their Logan.
Yeah, it's their Logan. Money. What have you got?
Well, I feel silly now. I've just written Money Plane 2, but there's 2 planes. And they have to rob both of them at the same time.
I like that. I'm also really impressed because you just slapped down a 90-page script on the table.
Oh, yeah. I started writing it, actually. Honestly, I thought... because the family's barely in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe they should get adopted.
Here's what I think it should open with. He's racked up $80 million in debt.
It was my last heist. Kelsey Grammer never was seen dead, so I think he's back as a robot.
He's back, but as Beast from X-Men. He's like, the only reason they couldn't kill me was I was bulletproof and blue. So, Oscar... Who would watch this?
Before we get into this, just, what was this?
This was such a giant turd of a film. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think you guys have to go watch it.
I would, if you're really into bad films.
Yeah.
This is for you. Who would watch this is anybody that appreciates a bad film.
I think so.
I almost feel like they've nearly done in terms of they've just done another room or another. It's so painfully bad,
but it's so much fun. That's the thing. Every scene.
It's 80 minutes. It's not as slow as The Room.
No, I felt The Room's very slow. It's funny those scenes, but the rest of it. This is just fun.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun. It's so dumb.
Oh.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the cowboy scene, I'd say it's
I think the cowboy scene's holding it up.
Yeah.
But I actually think from the moment the cowboy enters, the movie just hits this stride.
Yeah.
Being so dumb and so poorly made. In just terms of the Russian roulette and then the nerd continuously winning every violent
violent.
Well, like
the
that
tone
seems
is-
like that would be such a good gag in a comedy.
Yeah.
This guy trying not to win.
Oh
I
no,
just only-
bumbling.
Because here's the thing, there's blood on his hands. They're like, I don't want that blood money. And I'm like, dude, you've won a lot of money.
That man has
betting on
yeah,
death.
at least $90 million on a cobra, like stabbing up, like, eating a man to death.
Oh, and then just the horrible action sequences. The director trying to make himself look cool in an action sequence of punching through
Which
gravel.
is strange because he's like, all right, you're the nerd, but you're the nerd on the ground. We didn't chat about it, but there's a dirt mound when the CIA agents are trying to attack him, and he punches through a
Are they
hill.
CIA
Not
agents?
CIA, sorry,
Oh, okay.
like mercenaries.
Yeah.
He punches through the dirt hill and shoots someone. behind
The
him.
Suicide Squad go after him.
I want that. I'm putting it in the sequel.
What a sequel. So yeah, who would watch this? I think if you're a fan of bad films, like as a genuine, like who would watch this? I think if you're a fan of bad films, this is for you. As to who would watch this unironically, a very sad person.
I don't know. I feel like if you were, like, let's say you're a fan of like the WWE, The Edge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you could just sort of get a. I think a lot of people wouldn't. It's got a very low score, and I get why it's got a low score because it's a poorly made film. But I think you get a lot of entertainment. I think a lot of people would get a lot of entertainment value out of this.
But I mean, if you're just watching it because you like action films and you like The Edge, here's the thing though. I thought that this was going to be like a WWE movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen any of them, I'm talking about like John Cena's The Marine, or The Marine 2, or The Marine 3. I think there's some other like WWE. I think The Scorpion King is like a WWE movie. Maybe.
Oh, like they produced it. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
like WWE.
Scorpion King, WWE. I didn't even know that.
Like maybe the sequels are because it's like they always get wrestlers for it.
Yeah.
But they have like The Marine has like a pretty big budget. Yeah, they've done like a handful of like expensive films. So like The Marine has a budget of $15 million. Right?
That's pretty impressive.
12 Rounds is another one that I was
Yeah.
thinking. Have you seen either of these movies?
I've not. No.
Oh, okay. John Cena like action films.
Oh, nice. So people would enjoy those.
Yeah.
Is there decent action?
Yeah, but they're like properly made films.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so I actually thought this movie was going to have more money behind it. So when I watched it, I was very, very shocked.
Yeah.
When they said we're in a museum, and I looked at all the blank walls of a shed they were filming in, I went, oh no.
Oh no! Remember the hire car they slowly drive away and we got him.
Look, honestly, I think it's a pretty good deal if this is all you spent $20 on making this film and this is what you got.
Pretty
Good
sure.
on you. I made student films that cost more.
Yeah. And who would watch this? I think if you're watching it ironically, it's very funny.
Yeah. If you're not watching it unironically, if you've got a dirty plate.
That's right. If you have a child over the age of 15, which is the recommended age for watching this film, and you've got to clean a plate, we can't do this gag. I refuse.
I don't want to. That's why I cut it off.
Yep.
I don't want to do it. Don't make me do this gag.
Yeah.
It's like for example, I don't think The Marine or 12 Rounds are good. Neither of those WWE movies are good.
No.
But as a kid, I thought they were genuinely good action films.
Yeah. And that's
because I was really young. I don't know if I, as a kid, would watch this and go, good action film. I think I would go, wow, this is also a pile of shit.
Well, what action is there? There's the 2 hallway fights that are bad.
There's what do you mean? There's constant action. There's the co-pilot fight, and then the hallway fights, and then the concierge just killing people, and the roulette's violent, and they're betting on violence, and there's like.
You're just naming violence, though.
Okay, fine. There's no action, but there's a lot of violence. And as a kid, you just want violence.
That's all you want. Famously, children are just for murder and violence.
Children love
I
violence.
love swears.
Yeah,
It's
they
another
do. This movie needed more swearsies.
Yeah.
Like, we've probably sworn more on this podcast than on the film, so...
Good on the film.
Oh, well. I guess I would recommend this movie to your child.
I don't think I'd recommend this to a child. I think I'd recommend this to someone at our age. Hey, look at this film. It's pretty funny. It's stupid, but it's a lot of fun. And I think this will gain a cult following shortly.
I hope it does. Do you reckon it's one that you just find in a bargain bin? Like, I don't even know how to encourage people to watch it. You have to buy it online, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to find.
Yeah.
There's not really much about it.
You'll have to use an American service to literally rent it. If you want to spend money on this movie like we did, then
you're gonna have to go through a lot of effort.
And and if it's a lot of money, it's not for you.
It's not for you.
Watch this when it becomes readily available on like
Netflix, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out though.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, Oscar, what did you watch as a palate cleanser?
Honestly, I did not need a cleanser. I was like, I've given it's so hard to rate bad films on Letterboxd. So I've given it like a 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Like, I don't know how to rate like a bad film that I love. So I've just sort of give it like a below average score.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If out of the 3 movies we've done so far, Artemis Fowl, Cat in the Hat, and Money Plane, all of which have come at around the 80-minute mark.
Yeah.
I will say the movie that has the best pacing and didn't seem slow to me was this one.
Yeah.
So I was the most entertained by this one. Maybe it's because I hadn't seen it before, or I guess I hadn't seen Artemis Fowl before, but that was just junk.
Yeah.
But, Cat in the Hat.
So far, I think 2 for 3 have been good films. Podcast.
Good is a blanket statement.
Yeah, I mean, I've walked away gone, I'm happy.
Here's the thing. So far, I think there's an audience for the Cat in the Hat and Money Plane. Yeah. I still don't know who the audience is for Artemis Fowl.
Who would watch us? And we
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's drugged children, apparently. So,
Alright, let's end it there.
Alright. Alright, guys. Well, join us next week when we actually review
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
And we're not going to postpone it again.
Unless we
do have to watch. Oh, yeah, unless we do.
Which, I mean, crazy we do.
Whoa, what? Who would do that? Probably us.
Thanks.
All right, thank you for listening, guys.